Standing well, maybe looking in your mirror, placing your box, place an imaginary box into the shoulder, and we're going to inhale to the top of the box, keep the arms quite long, exhale to the top back portion of the box, level the pelvis, and then roll down to the bottom corner in, and exhale to the front corner of the box. And you'll notice, first of all, up, back, down and forward, like there are literally 4 corners. You can even reach back the arms and make this a little stronger there. And we are very accomplished and very used to our shoulder circles, but this is asking a little bit more energy, I feel, as you attempt to pattern the 4 corners of the shoulder box, but also avoid just flaring out the chest and back bend in the extension position. Of course, you will raise an open space in the front of your chest, but can you find that your pelvis remains super level? So when you lift and draw back, down, forward, lift, back, down, forward, bottom part of the box. Inhale, exhale, and then we will turn that box into a circle. And remember, we're rolling backwards. And let's roll for 6 and 5. Relax the jaw. 4 and 3. Soften the elbows a little, but not bending. 2 and 1. And as you let the shoulder blades release down, just have a look down at the feet, check that they are supremely level, and then gaze to the point where the wall meets the ceiling. Soften the neck, soften the jaw, possibly even look a little higher up, depends how your neck feels today. So be aware, soften the knees a tiny bit, don't lock the knees. Come back to neutral. Inhale, exhale, and nod the chin towards your chest. And just pause for a moment and feel flexion in your neck. And then float back again. Sorry, I'm just shaking the hair out of my eyes. Float back again. And we will bring the shoulder box in the other direction. So draw down to the back bottom corner. Roll up, sort of to the back of the neck, top corner of the box, front corner of the box, bottom front. So back, back, forward and down. Try and meet with those 4 corners. Please move at a considerate pace for your body. Let breath happen throughout. And this is, of course, you're bringing a lot of blood flow, not just into the shoulder girdle. So you'll feel the collarbone, the clavicle area start to warm up, but at upper back and into levator scapulae, and important muscles of the neck and trapezius, especially upper trapezius. So you're going to the bottom corner there, and then you're drawing forward, up and back. Yeah, so when you've completed, roll the shoulders. For 6, we're rolling forward. 5, 4, breathe. 3, 2 and 1. Let again the scapulae draw down broadly and widely onto your back. Feel the breath into the back lungs and keep the eyes to the horizon, eyes open, and turn the neck. Look over to the right, pause, and center, and then turn left. Look over, look into the corner of the left eyes, and then center. So turn your palms up now and float the arms forward, and they can be just slightly lower, so they can be in line with your heart center, or they can come up, of course, to the collarbones and clavicles. And with the palms up, just check how you feel, sensibly holding the weight of the dumbbells that you have, and then draw the arms out, in and down. Okay, so we're coming up, front raise, opening. You might want to feel a scapular squeeze there, but that's not essential. Try not to pinch the neck, and we're coming through. And then I'm going to also add on the downward motion with control. I'm going to draw back and just feel the upper back arms engage. Tricep areas, tricep muscles working with the chest. So we're floating forward and out, and your pace is your own. And remember that, yes, you can move much faster, especially if you've just got small fists and you are working through your resistance. But can you find that your mind is fully engaged and you are using as many repetitions as you feel the muscles start to activate? And Lisa and I had a small WhatsApp conversation yesterday, and I said, how are you getting on, Lisa? Because Lisa's been coming to lots of the classes and doing really, really well. And she said, yeah, Ros, I'm getting a lot more attachment to the muscles. I'm really feeling stronger in the muscles. And I think that's great, because Pilates does offer conditioning of the muscles, conditioning of the postural center, and toning. And obviously, depending on how much home practice you do, depending on how many repetitions, and for example, how you work with your props, some Pilates practitioners and some Pilates teachers have got very sculpted muscles in their arms and their legs. And they are Pilates practitioners, yeah? So it is something that can happen depending on your goals, depending on what you wish to achieve. So perhaps you've used 10, 12, 15 of those, and then take a moment to inhale, exhale, small pause, and then we're going to bend the elbows, coming into that 90-degree angle where the wrist to the elbow to the shoulder, don't hunch, just draw back and down and wide and broad. And then lift the arms so that the elbows come approximately in line with your shoulders, and the weights can turn this way or turn inwards, but preference is this way, yeah? So this feels different, doesn't it? Check in, but preferably hold them this way. And pulse up, 2, 3, tiny, 4, 5, 6, level pelvis, 7, 8, and 9, and 10, and pause. Just refresh your position, have 50-50 weight bear through the feet, make sure the knees aren't locked. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then draw out. Check in, maybe you have a mirror in your room, crown is lengthening and coming in. And some people do like to actually join completely in. That's depending on you, you can have a gap. And breathe. Now, it really, for me, makes sense to breathe in here and exhale to close through resistance, but you might want to just breathe well throughout and find that you can move more quickly. Try not to swing that body. And again, if you do have a mirror, it will help you to see the form and the good form of the movements that are being used. Okay, so that's the clue also to your home practices. If you can find even just a mirror just for the top portion, where, you know, particularly when you're using the Pilates arm weight series, and that stands to reason. It helps you keep the eyes centered and keep the chin level. Okay, so complete the ones that you're on, maybe swim out the shoulders, let the arms dangle. And then coming back to the first movement, we're just going to add a slight variation. So we're drawing forward and up and out as we did before, but then we're going to pulse up, 2, 3, drawing down and back, 2, 3. So flow forward, out, 1, 2, 3. Return, release, pull back, 1, 2, 3. Breathe well. It's quite strong when you come to the laterals. Occasionally you might need to pause and remember which needs more of your attention. You'll be feeling arm muscles hugging to the bones. Make sure that your shoulders don't raise into your ears. I know that some of you have got the heavier weights, but sometimes you can find just as much energetic response in the muscles by using the smaller weights and obviously allowing more repetition. And how is the corsetry of muscles in your postural center? Let's finish now on this next one if you can. Release if you're still with me, just finishing on the next one. And just making some soft circles around. And then again, we'll bring the elbows into the side body. Feel that there's almost like a lovely gentle smile across the collarbones. Level off your standing position again. And have a little wiggle and then center. And then we're drawing out and in on this one. So dumb waiter. Opening. Feel the mid portion at the back of the bra line. Feel the muscles activate there. Perhaps imagine you're pulling apart a Pilates band. And you want to really avoid this, but you also don't want to glue the arms in so tightly that you become very rigid. So it's that middle way where there's activation of alignment, but you are not stiff and standing to attention. Maybe you'll have 10 or 12 repetitions. And maybe now and again you'll hold steady and feel the activation. Check that you're stacking the crown above the stacked torso, the torso stacked over the pelvis stacked over the feet. And then lift the arms into our final position. I'm going to turn the palms facing for this one. And then draw out. And we're going to pulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And little tiny pulses back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then release the arms down and carefully place your weights down. Of course, you might want to put them either side of your mat in case you want to pick them up after. So, Pilates roll down. Release the arms, shake out the hands, fingers and the wrists. And then as you look down towards your mat, or look down to the earth, soften the knees, and tuck the chin and take a little moment to release into that neck flexion again. Start to draw energy in through the pelvic floor, into the lower abdomen, the mid and the upper abdomen. And really, please pattern this by leading with your crown. So the idea is that over time, your body becomes able to fold closer into your legs. Perhaps you let the shoulders just fall into the ears. And would you please drape here? You might sway a little side to side. You might tip forward and back. Feel the weight pass into the balls of the feet and toes, and then release to the tailbone and the back of the pelvis. Inhale through the nose, sigh out through the mouth. And really enjoy the weight there of the whole of the head that is releasing your vertebral column. And then you will bring yourself down onto the practice mat. And we're going to use some mat-based practice, some classical Pilates core exercises, but with the long legs. So this is where we need to feel as best we can, and you need to feel that your muscles in your hamstrings are long, but you may of course have the bent knee version as well. So align your sit bones evenly on the mat as you sit. Reach your arms forward, curl the tail under, and as you come down to mat, find that you come to mat through a controlled roll down, roll back, and then fold the knees into the chest. And this might be a good time to take off the socks. It's winter, of course, so you know the feet and toes can get really cold, and if they're too cold, that can be one of the factors in finding cramp. So fold the thighs into the chest and give yourself a little back massage. And then can you reach both legs up towards the sky? So we're aiming for the arrow legs with the softly pointed feet and toes. But it's nice to give the feet, toes and ankles a circle at this point. And remember that you may have to have quite a definitive bend in the knees, aligning the knees above the hips, or it's a micro bend. It's just a mini bend. Okay, now of course I can lengthen into those two arrows, and I want you to squeeze the legs together, or this would be the opportunity to place your ball, cushion, folded towel between the thighs as well. So really zip from the inner arches down through the inner thighs, and then with the legs being the apparatus, you want to feel that there's this lovely depth of energy coming down into the torso, and you feel anchored. So reach the legs away, perhaps 3-4 centimeters, perhaps even 10 centimeters, but let the back skull and the neck and throat not be pulling, and then exhale and draw back. Now this is a very controlled and very subtle practice, and it requires your full mindful attention. Keep the shoulder blades grounded. You can of course hold your weight, so let the arms be beside you. Double legs lower, squeeze and float and draw back. Breathe in as the legs come away from your torso, and breathe out as you sort of drop the anchor and bring them back. And of course you are avoiding an arcing or a pulling away from the back of the bra line. So really feel that you are able to draw the rib basket in, and you want to be feeling that the side abdominal muscles are anchoring as well, and you feel them hugging. You need to put your hands there. Inhale, exhale. So once you're clear about the usage of the abdominals, eyes to the sky, 6 slow motion, double leg lowering, or possibly 12, depends on how you feel this morning, depends on how well your back, front and side torso muscles can activate this cleverly designed Pilates exercise. So no pulling and tugging on your throat, please. And if there's any feeling that you've gone too far, what will happen is the belly muscles will pop and down, and you will arch your back. And it's really not advisable. So completing your double leg lowerings, bring the knees in and hug, or you can even place your feet back down and let yourself have that lovely knee sway. Now drop an anchor and drop heavy weight inside, if you know what I mean. So not heavy really, but just that activation of the center core through the whole torso. And now just float the right leg up like an arrow, and then out turn the leg. So you want to be sensing this inner seam of your leg. Some of us are quite happy to also lengthen the left leg down the mat, but you want to stabilize that pelvis. And looking at that big toe, circle, and we're noticing which direction is this circle. I happen to be moving in a clockwise direction, but you might be anti-clockwise, so notice, again, anchor the shoulders, strong element through the torso, maybe 6 of these beautiful hip circles, some of us are here, and it's a small circle, perhaps the size of a tennis ball or an orange, or even a grapefruit. Keep out turning the hip. Now, go the other way. Heavy weight through the left pelvis, or you are grounded through the left heel, and you're controlling the circle and breathing. It's very, very mindful with awareness. And then again, you may want to roll in, supine semi, reset the pelvis, make sure you lift the buttocks, heavy, heavy sacrum, pelvis level, reach the left leg up like an arrow, and out turn. So you're rolling the femur bone into the hip, into the socket, ball and socket, and you may be re-anchoring through that right leg, lift the body, check that you are super aligned, and then focus on the feeling of this very tiny controlled Pilates hip circle. Waist muscles are engaged, back ribs, but you are breathing. So nothing is rigid. 6 in each direction, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Keep out turning, leading from the inner seam. You might want to look to that big toe as if it's got a little paintbrush on it, and you're just checking that the shoulders haven't popped up into the ears, and you are finding glossy action of control. And again, we'll fold these in on completion, and now keep the knees, feet and ankles together and drawing a pelvic circle in both directions. Place the feet down. Please use your dumbbells if you wish, or your hand weights. And reach the arms to the collarbones and then towards the periphery of the eyes, and anchor the shoulder blades down. And this is ribcage arms. Breathe in here. Check that the whole feet, both feet are anchored. As you exhale, bring the arms down towards the mat, and again, secure that deep anchor. Option is to breathe in, arms by the eyes, ears or cheeks. Remember, the shoulder blades are really fully engaged, and then as you exhale, you can curl up and reach into long arm curl up. So keep your head down at all points. Inhale, exhale, arms down. In, exhale, arms down, control the abdomen, or as you exhale, curl head, neck and shoulders off the mat. And this is going to be felt in the center abdominal muscles, and particularly the six-pack muscle, the rectus abdominis. Remember, it's really nice sometimes to flow with the sound of the breath. Occasionally, you might want to let the back skull rest and focus on your strong awareness to your breathing, and just whole body in the natural spine curves. Pelvis is not rocking, and your arms are toning into strength as they move in a Pilates movement called ribcage arms. Now, completing a few more sets if you wish. We're going to now transition to Pilates Corkscrew. So bring the knees back into chest, and again we go into our arrow legs, out turn, and if you can keep the legs in this firm arrow, you'll see that you have the V stance in your feet. If you have to soften the knees, then I would bring the inner seams of the thighs together. Okay, so only out turn at the hip if it's comfortably okay to find that opening of the feet, the heels together. And I'm also going to curl up and cradle the head, but that is an option and it's not compulsory. and then stir both legs. So circle maybe the size of a dinner plate. First of all, just feel what's in your control. What can you feel good about? So you're circling. You might find that the range allows you to have a slightly bigger circle. So we might move for 6 or 8 corkscrew circles in one direction. But really, you don't want the legs to pull your hips or torso off of the mat. So for some of us, it's much better to keep the skull down and anchor through the backs of the arms. Once you've circled 6 or 8, change your direction and really feel like the whole of your torso, the back ribs, the side oblique muscles are hugging all the way through. Breathe, enjoy. Soft pointing of the toes. Inhale, exhale. Again, if the knees are soft, or you need to bend and just give the lower legs a little dangle like this, that's absolutely fine. But now move into flutter legs. Curl up again, or full Pilates scissors. We're going to pulse. So scissors can start with a little flutter towards the sky. You may increase the width, and then it's going to pulse the leg away from you. So we're going to come up, scissor, pulse, pulse, swap, pulse, pulse, squeeze, pulse, pulse. Taking a little challenge to curl the arms, curl the head, curl the neck, and reach the long arms forward. Pulse and press. Squeeze. Pulse. But remember, your head can also be down, and you can also have the cradle to head position. So finding the scissor action in Pilates single straight leg stretch in the method that works for your body while you keep all your form and technique. Give yourself a little giggle, a little smile. This is fabulous. And then move to the separate alternate split for 10, 9, 8, no pulse, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and curl a little higher and release. And roll up to sitting and flip around to come on to all fours and release the buttocks back towards the feet in a shell stretch, or what we know as yoga child pose, and just give yourself a little nuzzle. And then steady your body now into all fours position. Draw the shoulder blades back, and pressing the earth weight, ignite some active energy through the roots of the thumbs. And energize the right buttock, the right pelvic half, this right thigh, right foot, all the way through to the right palm. And then pick up the weight in the left hand. Keep the chest facing the mat and bring the left arm out to a lateral. And we're going to go for 10 raises just through the left. Crown lengthens. And you don't really want to twist. Trying to keep the all fours position very steady. 10 is an option. And this can also be done in a high kneeling. So if you need to take weight off your wrist for any reason, you can create that lateral and even use both arms in a high kneeling. And we're going to swap to the tricep extend. So draw the left arm, shoulder back, keep the chest facing the earth, and then lift up for 10, 9, 8, 5. Crown lengthens, keep the pelvis strongly anchored to your midline, and then release. And again, just ease back into your shell, maybe release the hips left and right. So you'll repeat those shoulder arm conditioning, strengthening moves on the right. Align your all fours. Press the earth away. And raise. And if you're just lifting the arm a little bit, that's okay. You've got to start somewhere. But the aim is to bring control and strength, maintaining your postural alignment, stacking, and you are finding, if possible, 10 repetitions as the arm draws out to the side while you maintain your quadruped standing, and then we'll be swapping the hold of that dumbbell so that the arm reaches back into the tricep extension. And just refresh your positions, connect back into your breathing, really trying to feel power in that table back. Connecting those muscles therein. And then curl your toes. Send the bum towards the backs of the feet and ankles. Spread the hands and rise up into a yoga down dog. And can you walk the feet maybe mat wide, or do the feet want to come closer together? Maybe you bend your knees and reach out through those back legs. So finding not just an opening in your shoulders, but also feeding through to the leg muscles. Walking into your forward fold. And then softening the knees, scooping the belly. And you start to restack your body using Pilates Roll Up. Still gazing to those stacked feet. And as you find the shoulders above the pelvis, then of course you can float the head. Inhale, exhale. Take the fingertips onto the tops of the shoulders. Or again, you can observe your goalpost position with your weights if you prefer. Breathe in, and as you exhale, side bend. Try not to lift the shoulder. Instead, float the elbow up so you create more space between the hip and the armpit. Flowing to find each side bend, raising up, getting some space into the armpit. Yes, like all of our method, you can move much faster and more dynamically if that suits you. Center, inhale, exhale, rotate left. And breathe and turn right. And again, if it suits you to move faster, you can spiral everything, or of course you can keep your pelvis and your eyes and the skull facing forward and just feel your ability increasing, freeing the rib basket, freeing that rib cage. You can even swing those arms as well. As you stand and breathe, notice what feels different for you. And thank you so much for joining me today for another Morning Pilates live class. Thank you so much.